know how to lead anything. Let's just be
Yeah,
real about it.
but no, I think it's again. This is me listening to y'all before I jumped on the panel. It's the mindset. You know what I mean? This it's the, you know, again, Westbrook is a great example, and Nash is in the same boat as Westbrook. I'm gonna tell you how. Nash is one of the highest paid coaches, and he just got here. You know who he's in a company with? Budenhauser and fucking Coach Pop. They the
Yeah.
only coaches that make more money than Steve Nash. Why does Steve Nash get paid top dollar to be a head coach? Because he's friends with Joe Tsai and he's business partners with Joe Tsai. Steve Nash gets he's the third highest paid coach in the NBA right now, bro.
Hit that
So
like button. That's exclusive, man. I did not know that, man. Shout out
yeah,
to you,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so
Wow.
so he doesn't lose sleep at night. We if the Brooklyn Nets lose a game, me and other Nets fans will be vlogging for hours, blaming Steve Nash. If you was to be a fly on the wall and see where he at, he doing TikTok dances and then he going to bed, sleep in pajamas,
TikTok dances.
Oh my
Give me a
god.
in
fucking break.
pajamas. Like he's orchestrating TikTok dances with his daughter. Like respectfully, you could have just stayed home and did that. You ain't got to coach grown men that won a championship. LaMarcus Aldridge went to his doctor and said, "Yo, I cannot play." He said, "Yes, LaMarcus, you can play," and then he didn't even play him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, the urgency to win now. I didn't see that in Steve Nash these first 3 years, and I think that's
Right.
the major disconnect between KD and Steve Nash and why KD did what he did. I don't necessarily agree on how he did it, but I'm glad he did something.
Hmm.
And it goes to show that I think it's the whole what I'm talking about is just the vocal part of it. Like nobody gonna say nothing to Nash. Sean Marks ain't gonna say nothing to Nash. Joe Tsai not gonna say nothing to Nash. I fucking fire both of them. You know what I'm saying? Just that whole energy of like, what did Nash do to prove that he deserves to be a head coach? He did nada.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
You know,
He
so
was a
I think
player's
somebody had to
coach.
do it,
A
and it was
player's
KD.
coach because they brought in Steve Nash because they knew Kenny Atkinson, who was actually a very good coach, who knows
Yep,
how to coach good young players. He
yep.
was not he was not the type of guy that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving wanted. They wanted a guy that they could control, and that was not Kenny
They're
Atkinson
gonna
who he
let them
was.
do
They
what they
wanted
want
a
to
guy that they could still run the team, and that's what Steve Nash is. He's a puppet for Kevin
do.
Durant
Yeah,
and Kyrie Irving.
they wanted somebody that was gonna let
That's what they wanted. They wanted a puppet for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to control that entire time. That's why Steve Nash was brought in. Let's just be real about it.
Yeah, no, he was.
Kenny Atkinson
They
should have
was
been the
wrong
head
for that.
coach.
Stop. They was wrong. They was wrong for that though. And you know, as a fan, I push back on them doing that, and I think they learned their lesson the hard way. You know,
You're exactly
they
right. They did.
they asked for Jordan to come. They got everything they want, and then I think when we didn't win it, that's where the pushback came from Sean Marks and Joe Tsai. Like, hold on, you asked us to put Jordan. Y'all took pay cuts to put Jordan, and we cut Jared Allen's minutes to give to DeAndre Jordan, and then we didn't even pay fucking Jared Allen. We let him go, and the
No, we
only reason why.
traded him for fucking James Harden. That's what we did.
Right, right. So I'm saying that to say Jared Allen didn't want to leave. They did not want to pay him. They said on the offer table, from what I heard, it was 4 years, 80 mil. Jared Allen and his he must have had Ari with him or some shit. He said,
Yeah.
nah, we don't want that. We want 5 years, 100 mil. And if you don't do it, somebody gonna do it. And somebody else did do it. And he became an
Breezy
all-star
and
to bury his
NYG, I
chips.
want to ask you that. I want to ask you guys this, Breezy and NYG, because I know. How did you guys feel about all the rumors that you heard about James Harden when they made that trade a couple of years ago? And what did you guys react when they actually made the James Harden trade? Because I was saying the entire time, don't do it. Don't trade for James Harden. He's not a good fit. You don't need
I've never
him.
been
You
a
have a
Joe.
good young core. I was praying that they wouldn't do it, and I thought the Nets, that's what killed this team until this year. That's what destroyed this team is when they pretty much decided they had to go out there and get James Harden, and we all saw what happened after that. James Harden pulled the James Harden that he did before. I thought that was the worst move they could have done, and it just gave us nightmares of what happened about 10 years ago when they made that trade for Kevin Garnett, for Paul Pierce, and for Jason Terry. I'm like, don't do it. You have a good young core of players with two superstars. You don't need James Harden. And I was flipping a shit when they made that trade. I knew this team
I
was not going to be
definitely
as good.
did not like that trade, and I will say this: I don't like James Harden's game.
I don't either.
I don't like his game, man. You know what I'm
I think he's
saying? Now,
overrated as hell.
I'm a basketball player at heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Breezy can attest to this, man. You know what I'm saying? We played in many leagues, man, in Brooklyn, man, growing up, and I don't like I don't like a chuck, man. I don't like a nut, man. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like the type of player that's just going to dribble, then
Right.
pick and shoot. You know what I'm saying? I never liked his game. I don't like that chuck and duck shit, man. Like, so
Now,
James
I agree with you,
definitely,
YG, and Jeff too. I agree. I totally agree. And when it did happen, the whole time leading up to whether they was going to say yes or no, I vlogged against it. I vlogged, so I vlogged against it, and it was for the very reasons that we said. I know he was going. They were saying shit like it's only 24 seconds on the shot clock between him and Kyrie. It's going to be a lot of dribbling. But case in point is we didn't even see them play a lot of games together. But it's back to what Jeff said about building a core. The teams, the winning teams, the championship teams, they built a core.
right.
The only anomaly is the Lakers. But that being said, they're out of, in my opinion, they're out of championship contention because of them winning the championship in 22. The irony, because if they had the same surrounding pieces now that they had with Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, I think I'm
Brandon
forgetting. Yeah, oh my
Hart.
fucking god, Brandon fucking Ingram, bro. Like if they
And
had this,
LeBron James destroyed that
bruh,
team when he got greedy
LeBron
and wanted to
James
bring his
destroyed
guys
a lot
in.
of teams, man.
He
The only
destroyed
team
that Lakers
LeBron
team,
James
and they had
wasn't able to
talent.
destroy was the Miami Heat. That's because they got Pat Riley. But every other team this dude went to, and I'm not a LeBron James fan, um, but you know he has basically taken over teams and ruined them, and he's doing it again here with the Lakers. And um, we all know, man, that this Lakers team, as currently constructed, is not going to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They do
but
not
they
have the right mix of players, and this is going back to what we're talking about with the Nets.
right,
You need the right mix of players. You need
Yep.
a good core. You need a good bench. You need solid young players that can play long minutes when your superstars aren't available or when you just need to give them a break. You need a solid all-around team. You need three-point shooting.
Mm-hmm.
You need guys that can defend the wing. You need guys that can defend the post.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you need a complete team.
yeah,
Teams like Golden State and Boston are complete teams. I
Yep.
think the Nets are becoming a complete team. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna take time, and please don't go wigging out, Nets fans, if the team gets off to a slow start. A lot of these
that's
guys
a
are
fact.
coming off injuries. You know what I'm saying? Ben
Right.
Simmons, Joe Harris.
Right. Now, the first 20 games for the Brooklyn Nets, we got 5 back-to-backs.
Yep.
So it's rightfully so, NYG. Shit, it might be tough for us in the first 20 games because of the back-to-backs and the chemistry and just them playing alongside one another. I will always say that any team that got teammates that been on the same team for maybe 2-3 seasons, they have the advantage of new
Right.
teams. New assembled teams. Even with the Kawhi Leonard going to Toronto, that whole core was the same. The only thing they did different was Kawhi and DeRozan. That was the only difference. You
Pretty
know what I'm
much,
saying?
yeah.
So I'm saying that to say, the teams that have teammates that play together for a long amount of time have the advantage because of chemistry and cohesiveness. Like when you watch Steph Curry and Clay, you could tell they know what they gonna do. Like Steph know what Clay gonna do, and Clay know what Steph gonna do. You know what I mean?
And they both know what Draymond's gonna do because they played together for so long.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's the advantage that teams have over the Nets, because we may have the edge talent wise, but because they've been teammates longer, they might have the edge. But you get players like KD and Kyrie. I feel like Kyrie, he's more of a scorer, second passer. KD, I would say, just watching game after game, he's become a better passer. But he got exposed on with the Boston Celtics because he had nobody to pass to. What people don't understand was that a lot of the respect that KD got, not doubling him, was LaMarcus Aldridge. You put him right there in the key area where his paint at, right there by the foul line over there.
No, don't even get me started with that decision not to play Aldridge in the
right,
Celtics
right. No,
series.
no.
Oh my God.
But no. I'm saying this to say that coach wise, strategically, this is how you keep the double off of Kevin Durant.
You're right.
They have to respect LA. They have to respect automatic. They have to. But
that's what you hope a guy like Claxton's going to do.
Huh?
That's what you hope a guy like Nicholas Claxton is going to be able to do, is he's going to be that guy down low that they're going to have to respect, and it's going to help take away the double team from Kevin Durant. And also, you need those three-point shooters that are going to strike fear into the other team, that if you leave them open even for a little bit, they're going to knock down those shots most of the time, a.k.a. Joe Harris. And that's why Joe Harris was a monster blow not being on this team last year, because they did not have that consistent guy on the outside that they know that if he gets the ball and he even has a little bit of time to shoot that three, he's most likely going to make it, because Joe Harris has been one of the best three-point shooters in the league for a while, and he's a perfect fit for this offense, and he was missed last year. As bad as he was the year before, shooting behind the line in the playoffs, Joe Harris is still a guy that when he's out there, most likely he's going to hit that three. And they missed him so much on the outside. They missed that three-point consistent threat.
I'm agreeing with you. I feel like Joe Harris, him and Nick Claxton are the only players that still here from everything that happened. Yep. And we always ran the offense through Joe Harris. But what I'm getting to is, who can have? I seen on LaMarcus Aldridge. I don't know if y'all heard this, and it was last season. They was talking spicy about the mid-range game, and LaMarcus Aldridge said, "Man, I scored 18,000 points from the mid-range game. Man, I don't know what they talking about. The mid-range game is still alive because of Curry and how he made the three-pointer so relevant. But the mid-range is still masterful. You got KD and great players who made a living off of the mid-range. So respect to that. And I'm only saying that to say, now that LaMarcus Aldridge is not there, who can give us that? Who can give us that mid-range from right there? Because, that was the whole, in my opinion, reason why we lost the Celtics series, is because we didn't put Aldridge there. Because I'm saying this for coaching reasons. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about, like, coaching-wise, Ime Udoka knew that if you can't put Drum there, you put Drum there, Drum is not making that. You can take their chances in the playoffs that he's not going to make that shot. And I'm saying that to say, because they took their chances, they double team KD, because they knew KD could, if he threw it to LaMarcus Aldridge, they could get back on defense fast on the Drum, but not with a LaMarcus Aldridge. So I'm saying that to say, again, people think it's such a mess that KD put Nash on a hot seat. I think the opposite. I think it was necessary that somebody put Nash on a hot seat, not necessarily Sean Marks. I think he did a better job as a GM than Nash did as a coach, but definitely Nash, to let him know, I'm in the prime of my career. It's okay for you to lose. You your first 1, 2, 3 years being a coach. You can live after this. You get another job. This is it. This is my last woo, with the woo-ha, the last woo-ha, you know what I'm saying? It's my last go. It's my last go at it. I need this. You know what I'm saying? And you acting like it's fine to lose. I listen to Nat, and not to be long winded, I'm gonna land the plane. But I used to listen to Nash's post game interviews after the game and just
Mm,
his energy on how he discussed the game. And as a coach, you want more as from a fan. A fan want more from his coach. You
yeah.
show more passion, show more leadership, show more aggressiveness, show more. You can come to me, and guess what? I'll take it on the chin and say I should have did this or I should have did that. It was
You sound like
always
a
on the other
robot.
voice. He ain't take no
He
accountability, bro.
sounded like a robot in his press conferences. Oh, we didn't do well in the defense. We need to do a lot better when it comes to the offensive side of the game. Show some damn passion, Steve Nash. Like
Yeah,
he didn't show any passion, and he was
yeah,
horrible with his adjustments over there. What I'm hoping
right,
actually to answer your question that you said
right,
about who could be that mid-range guy, Markieff Morris. Maybe Markieff Morris is that guy. He
right,
can hit that mid-range shot.
right,
Maybe Nicholas Claxton. He has been shooting a little bit better. He's been trying to practice on that shot in the mid-range. Maybe he's that guy.
right,
I don't think he's going to be, but maybe he is. Maybe a T.J. Warren could be that guy and do the
right.
mid-range
So
shot.
we need
We
a
also got
big
to
man to
realize
do it.
too
But
that
I think I think you cooking with grease when it comes to Morris, though. Morris definitely could. I won't say be as good as Aldridge, but he gonna make the defense react. Like the defense
Exactly.
has to respect the fact that he got the ball. You're not just gonna leave him open because he's not gonna shoot the ball if you leave him open. He's gonna take it to the basket and he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
draw the foul. In
right,
case the
exactly.
point is he's a player that makes the defense react. You know what I mean?
He'll beat you cerebrally when it comes to being on the basketball court. He'll know what the best plays to do on the court for being a veteran in the league for so long. If he knows that jump shot's not there and he can drive to the basket and draw that foul, he'll do it. He won't hesitate and throw up a bad shot in the mid range. And that's what a guy like Markieff Morris is going to do on the court. And that's why like we've reiterated multiple times during the stream, how important that signing of Markieff Morris has been in so many aspects. And it's just
Right.
amazing that we were able to pick him up this late in the off season. Like that was such a huge signing for this team in so many ways. And I think he is one of those guys that's going to transform this team into like what MYG was saying, as a complete
Yeah,
team. And like you were
yeah.
saying, Breezy, he's going to bring that toughness. He's going to bring that grit. He's going to bring that enforcer, that leadership that this team needs. Markieff Morris, I think, is that guy that could do it. Maybe not
You
as good
got
as
to
Aldridge, but he could do it.
too. This team is going to add pieces along the way. So
Yes, I agree.
this ain't the same team they're gonna be going with, come playoff time.
Unless the young players on this team develop, and they don't have to, unless you have guys like Thomas and Sharp and David Duke Jr., as well as Kessler Edwards, show something enough where they believe in them to put them in the rotation. They don't have to add some more pieces if they believe these young guys can get it done.
Yeah, but
Um,
no, I agree. I see that I got pushed back with that too, NYG. I feel like, again, reliability wise, Cam Thomas 67 out of 82 with an injury. They say the best ability is availability.
uh,
And they were there. They have experience playing alongside of Kevin Durant and a Kyrie Irving. That teammate part of it is important too. So these young guys, I think they do get more minutes. Kessler Edwards had 44 games, I believe. I think he gets 60 plus games this season. I don't think that injury-prone player, coming off an injury like an Ed Sumner, which I'm hearing good things about, which honestly I shied away from because I don't want him to take Cam Thomas minutes. But I said that to say, far as the minutes and who's going to get them, you can't expect T.J. Warren to get 82 games and play 25 minutes for 82 games. That's not going to happen. So case in point, even if if T.J. Warren and all these players get minutes over Cam Thomas and players, basically Cam Thomas, he's going to still get minutes because he's giving rest to a Patty Mills, rest to a Seth Curry, rest to a T.J. Warren. These rest to Kevin Durant, rest to Seth Curry. When those guys who all can score, when they're but they're all veterans. When they get to sit and you need a basket, you can go to Cam Thomas. This is why he's going to get the rookie extension with the Brooklyn Nets. That's my unpopular opinion.
let's go.
I
Like
agree
that.
with them. That's a damn good
I
unpopular
like
opinion. I'm
that
right on
because I
board with
like
you on
that
that
you
one.
stand on your square. Because
I like
Word.
you
that.
mind saying Cam Thomas is that dude, and you got me convinced. You know what I'm saying? So we rolling with Cam Thomas, David. You know what I'm saying? Unpopular opinions, sports. Big fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog.
That's what's up.
NYG Jeffy 85. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna take a little time for you to get used to
Yeah,
that
I was
number.
gonna
I
say
know.
32, man. Like NYG Jeffy 85,
No, I
and
kicked that 32 out of there just like I hope the Giants can kick Kenny Galladay the fuck out of here.
yeah, I hope it happens too. But you know, much like Julius Randle, much like uh, uh, guys like Stanton for the Yankees, you stuck with these guys, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Not so much Stanton, but a lot of Yankees fans complain about him the way Knicks fans complain about Julius Randle, the way
Galladay's the worst.
Giants
Out of all
fans
those guys,
complain
Galladay's the
about
worst.
Kenny Galladay. That's what I'm saying.
Galladay's
It's
the worst
always
because at least those other guys have done something. Galladay's done jack snap with this Giants team. At least Randall had a good season with the Knicks, and Stanton has had decent numbers with the Yankees.
true
What the
that.
hell has Kenny Galladay done? I mean, that's by far the worst out of all these guys. Not even close.
True that. And just getting back to the basketball, like I do think this next team now, Steve Nash I think Steve Nash can develop this young talent on his team. So we gotta,
It's Brian Keith, bro. Tell
Yeah.
you.
it's something that's going to have to, they're gonna have to overcome with Nash.
But
Okay, so
it's
if you saying Brian Keith, let me just pose this question to you real quick, Breezy.
yeah, yeah.
If you saying Brian Keith is the head coach in waiting, okay, so if that's the case, why not let Brian Keith handle the veterans, Kevin Durant, and if you a smart coach, okay, these cats ain't listening to me, so Brian, Markeith, maybe those are going to be have to be KD and Kyrie's. Um, I hate to say handlers. You know, I don't like to use a word like that. Um,
Yeah.
but
But
maybe they just gonna have to be the ones in those guys' ears to keep them on pace and focused. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Not so much worried about Steve Nash and let Steve Nash work with Cam Thomas, Kessler Edwards, and some of these other younger guys. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, you the question you asked me, you answered it. That's exactly what it is. And I think again, KD didn't get his whole narrative the way he would probably say verbatim, the way the media explained it. He didn't just. I think they made it nasty. I don't think it was just about the fire and the people. That's what I'm saying. It's Brooklyn, man. Like they ain't even sweating that, man. That happened the other day, man. They gonna be all right. And I'm only saying that to say that it was about Brian Keith. They didn't say his name in the media because Steve Nash kept his job. There's no reason to cause a fuss inside of the Brooklyn Nets organization by making it versus Steve Nash and Brian Keith, because
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's gonna be Steve Nash and Brian Keith. But Kevin Durant, he took it a step further, and my unpopular opinion is that he went up there and was like, "Yo, I want to hire Brian Keith." You look at again, he was first year as an assistant coach with the Brooklyn Nets was last season. So Kevin Durant was there before that, right? But Brian Keith, again, the relationship he has with Kevin Durant is from OKC. Sam
Yep.
Presti, the GM from OKC, saw it out. You know what I'm saying? Called him up like, "Yo, I need your help." Brian Keith pulled up. He was the player development coach. He was an assistant coach. He was like, and again, the significance of that again is him having a player development coach experience. That's gonna go well over with the young guys. You know what I'm saying, with the second year guys.
Mm-hmm.
And him being a defensive coordinator, I think he is part of the reason why we gave up the draft pick for Royce O'Neal. Because the players that we're going to develop are the second year guys with Kessler Evans, DDJ, Daylon Sharp, and Cam Thomas. Those are the players that's going to be our core and we're going to develop. We made a mistake by trading Jared Allen, and the significance of Jared Allen in this conversation is he was the first draft pick that Sean Marks picked. Sean Marks came here and he got looked at like he was doing the right thing because he drafted Jared Allen. So when he get looked at in a good light, it's because of his draft picks, not necessarily the free agents. And he does well, and he did well, and I think that's why they're going forward with giving away the pick and getting a Royce O'Neal. He's a developed player, and he's almost an Iron Man. I think he played like 82 games.
Yeah.
But starting for Utah, bro, like
he's out there on the court almost all the time.
He's out there, yeah.
Right. So think about what that part means for the Brooklyn Nets on having a player that's available all the time. You know what I mean?
We haven't had in a while.
Right. Right. We always, get hit with the injury bug. So, that changes our offense. Again, we used to run our offense through Joe Harris. He played 14 games last season. We had to switch things up. Patty Mills had to take what he did and do what he did. Like Patty Mills played the most games with 81. Then after that was Bruce Brown with 72. And then after that was Cam Thomas with 67.
Yep.
Cam Thomas is the third, and he's a rookie. He played the third most games for the Brooklyn Nets. So now you got guys that you could build around because they're going to be the most consistent there because health-wise, they're the most available. So you got Royce O'Neal, you got Cam. This is why I bring attention to him too. It's not just the how you say me liking him as a player, it's the availability. 67 out of 82 is nice for a rookie. You know what I'm saying? And like,
and that's one of the things that hurt that team too is the fact that they had so many guys in and out of the lineup that when they finally got most of them back at the end of the season, they still needed time to develop that chemistry and gel together. And by the time they got to the playoffs, it was too late. They were still trying to find their ways to learn how to play together. And it was too late. And the Boston Celtics already were a team that gelled. So that's what really hurt that Nets team too. Is the players were they were too in and out of the lineup, and hopefully that doesn't happen this year. So go ahead, Breezy. Say what you were saying before.
Appreciate
you.
I'm
talking to y'all. I'm talking to y'all. I'm kicking it with y'all. I'm saying shit for y'all to say shit. You know what I mean?
I would put Claxton in there too. I would put Claxton in there as another guy that they're gonna because I think they finally got that one right after they knew they effed up with Jared Allen. They made sure they didn't do the same thing with Nicholas Claxton, and they kept him because that kid's got a lot of talent too. Not maybe as talented as Jared Allen is, because I think Jared Allen's game offensively is better than what Nick Claxton can provide. But I mean, he's still a very good young player in terms of center position. So I would throw Claxton in there with the DGJ, with the Kessler Edwards, with the Cam Thomas, Deron Sharp. And I even like this kid that they signed as an undrafted free agent, Alondis Williams out of Wake Forest. I think he's another guy they could try to develop a little bit, maybe in the G League, and maybe he can become a player as it goes along, sort of like what they have with David Duke. An undrafted guy that can come out of nowhere and maybe be a contributor for the team, and maybe not this season, but maybe next year.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what you said. I blogged on it on Alondis Williams, and I pulled up his highlights. He's a 6'5" point guard that know how to pass and he'll bang it on you. He's an athletic guard that's going to take it to the paint, take it to the basket, and his vision is fucking phenomenal. And I you know what I mean? And I said that from college highlights. Yeah, he's going to be developed in the G League. He has a 2-way contract. Long story short, listen. He's definitely going to get minutes with the Brooklyn Nets. And I think if you're going to build a team, you always pay attention to the players that you put in the G League. If they doing too well, you're like, wow, you might as well play for the Brooklyn Nets. If you're going to do that for the Long Island Nets, play for the Brooklyn Nets. We had, I think it's some talent that, we sent Cam Thomas his first game. He had like 48. But he was like, all right, come back to the Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Jordan Poole was with the G League for the Golden State Warriors for most of the year last year. He comes over to the real team, and he all of a sudden becomes that sixth man off the bench. You never know what you can get out of that G League. I think, was it Spencer Dinwiddie was a G League player for a little bit too. And then he came out of nowhere and he became the player that he is right now. And he got a big deal from the Dallas Mavericks. So you never know what you can get out of those guys in the G League. Somebody could be the next Spencer Dinwiddie or Jordan Poole.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think COVID put a light on the G League, but you know, when you vlog about it and this and that, and you see why they not getting minutes, you find out it's because of the G League, and you just learn about it. Just being a fan of it, it's like, oh, all right, you know what I mean? You understand now the contracts. When I was growing up, I didn't know nothing about no contracts. I knew Jermichael played for the Bulls and this player played for that team, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't know nothing about no contracts and all of that, but I think that Alondes Williams, with his two-way contract, you're going to see him play for the Brooklyn Nets, especially having veterans. And not to say like I want injuries, but the way this, just realistically looking at any NBA team, right, without any injuries, 10 out of all of the players in the NBA do not play 82 games. That's just the facts of it.
Yeah,
so
in the league nowadays.
Yeah, even if I'm not calculating the injuries, let's just say I'm minusing the injuries. 9 times out of 10, there's still going to be situations that these players are not 2 games, and then there's going to be players when that player don't play, it's going to be their chance or opportunity to take this start, or you know what I mean? Like a lot can happen. You know what I'm saying? If they get minutes, a lot can happen. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I think Cam Thomas got 2. Buzzer, he got 2 game winners in his rookie season. What more you want from a rookie? He played 67 games. What more you want from a rookie? He was a 27th pick, and he only played 1 year in college and came out and got here in the first round. Kessler Edwards played 3 years in college, and when he was a 2nd round pick. Nick Claxton is a 2nd round pick. Day'Ron Sharpe, he's nice. He's a 1st round pick, 29th pick, but he's
I
still
like
a 1st
Day'Ron
round
Sharpe.
pick.
I hope he gets minutes at that backup center position behind Nick Claxton.
He's another one that's only 1 year in college. They late in the 1st round because they played 1 year in college. Had they stayed 3 years, you can't tell me Cam Thomas in college plays 3 years and he's a 27th pick. He's definitely a top 10 pick. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because they come out so early, like you said, Breezy. They come out so early now. They're not allowed it to touch, much like the NFL. The quarterbacks, how they come out real early, and they're not giving the time to develop because they're still young. So when you have players that come into the league that are young, think about how you felt, man. Look, man, we talk about athletes, man, but these are humans. These are people, man. Think about how you felt when you was 18, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? Did you feel like you could take the pressure of being a professional athlete? And for a lot of these guys, it's not as easy as you think. It's not as easy as a transition. And these guys it takes time for these guys to develop, and you need the right coaches that are there that can allow the transition to be as smooth as possible so these guys don't get rattled and flame out.
Exactly. You're 1,000% right on that. Coaching does matter so much in a lot of sports. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're put in a situation where the coaching is not good enough to get the most out of your talent, then you'll end up like like some of the busts that happen in the NBA or the NFL or such like that. If you're put in, maybe you're not. There could be a scenario where there's a player A and player B, where player A is the more talented player coming out of college. I'll just say the NFL for an example. Player A is the more talented wide receiver